In brief moments, we mark our beginning. In compassion, we find freedom. Welcome to your ledger, where you author your story. Episode 1 of The Quiet Ledger. The Quiet Ledger. Please remember that the TQL series offers gentle guidance and metaphorical frameworks for financial wellness. This is not professional financial, legal, or therapeutic advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making specific financial decisions. Welcome, I am Teach, the scribe. Today we begin Phase 1 together. Phase 1 is called The Foundation of Self-Worth. Over the next 13 episodes, we will look honestly at our relationship with money, with the kind of clear and steady attention that makes what is present visible. The scribe is the right companion for this beginning. The scribe records what is present, with honesty and without addition. That quality of attention is what Phase 1 asks of us. The scribe also understands that this kind of looking takes practice. We bring so much with us when we look at money: history, feeling, the accumulated weight of many earlier moments. The scribe's gift is the ability to set all of that gently to one side and return to what is simply factually present. Today we open the quiet ledger for the first time and bring to it the scribe's quality of seeing. Let us anchor ourselves in the now. Breathe in deeply, gathering the stillness, and breathe out, releasing tension in your jaw and shoulders. One more, inviting calm focus, and out, settling the mind into peace. You are perfectly safe here. The ledger, a place of recorded fact. Throughout history, ledgers have carried the simple practice of honest accounting. Merchants in ancient markets, scribes recording harvest and seed. In a ledger, there is only what is written, and yet when we look at our own information about money, we bring meaning to it. A notification becomes concern, a statement becomes judgment, a transaction becomes narrative. We rarely see only the fact. We see the story attached to it, the interpretation, the weight. The scribe understands this. The ledger receives both, the fact and the feeling, the number and the story it carries into the room. Phase 1 begins here, with the practice of learning to see both clearly and to know which is which. The scribe invites you to name it honestly, so that what the ledger actually contains can be read on its own terms. The fact, when separated from the story, becomes something you can work with. That is the beginning of the practice. The scribe also understands that this separation takes practice. The story and the fact have been traveling together for a long time. They arrive in the same moment. Distinguishing them is a skill that develops through returning to it. The ledger is patient. It waits for what is actually there to be set down clearly. The ledger is always open, ready for the next honest entry. A steady insight opens our time with the quiet ledger, offered by Lao Tzu, whose insight into wisdom and self-knowledge has held its precision across thousands of years. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. His words name something the scribe practices unhurriedly. Here is where the quiet ledger finds its footing. To know others, their choices, their circumstances, their apparent situations is a form of wisdom. Many of us practice it with ease. We observe, we compare, we measure the ledger we carry against what we can see of theirs. Lao Tzu names something deeper: to know yourself, the patterns you carry with money, the responses that arrive under pressure, the relationship between what the numbers say and what you feel about them is where the real work lives. In the practice of separating money facts from feelings, this is the quality the scribe brings most carefully into view. The ledger that matters most is the one you author yourself. The scribe recognizes that the act of looking honestly at what is there, with honest recognition, free and clear of comparison, is the beginning of everything that follows. What is true in the numbers is simply true. and the one who can read it clearly is living the teaching Lao Tzu named. The ledger authored with honesty is the one that serves. Our first anchor is orientation. When we observe that a fact is fixed, while a feeling or an emotion is fluid, something useful becomes visible. A fact, the number on the page, the balance in the account, the data recorded in the ledger. It remains unchanged by how we interpret it, yet feelings do shift. The stories we tell ourselves about those facts shift and change. Many of us blur the two, responding to a number as though the reaction were the number itself. When you can distinguish a fact from the feeling that rises with it, what is steady appears beneath the narrative, offering a steadier way to understand what you are seeing. The fact remains. The feeling moves, reshaping itself as your awareness settles, and in the space between them, steadiness becomes possible. Our second anchor is action. I invite you to consider taking one small, measured action to read your facts this week. It may be viewing an account of recent activity as data, a moment captured, just numbers showing a point in time. It may be noticing an account balance and letting the number stand on its own before the story arrives. It may be simply recording one spending choice and sitting with what you observe. It may be checking a notification and reading only the information displayed, letting it settle before the narrative begins. You might discover that when the temporary number becomes a fixed snapshot in time, when that moment's data is simply data, understanding emerges beneath the emotional response. There is no perfect way to separate fact from feeling. There is only the gentle practice of approaching each number with awareness. Each time you return to the fact alone, you are building something, an unhurried practice of discernment. Our third anchor is reframing. Many of us have noticed narratives about money that feel like absolute truth when they are actually interpretation. A ledger is a witness to the facts only. It simply records what is. Similarly, your facts are separate from who you are. They inform you. When we recognize that we hold the pen, that each day offers new choices about how we respond to what the numbers show, we discover that authorship is both responsibility and power. You are the steady author of your narrative, an active participant in a story still unfolding. Each time you read a fact clearly, each time you respond from your values, from the story that care and understanding write, you are practicing authorship. You are reclaiming your story. One fact at a time, one clear reading at a time. We are cultivating the capacity to write the next chapter consciously, with awareness, with presence. Consider the nature of a ledger's truth. How the ledger receives each entry as it stands. The ledger keeps what is placed in it present, steady, each entry resting where it was placed, the surface smooth from use, each column holding its own weight, nothing added to what was placed there. The ledger rests in its own completeness, a record that simply is present. Notice the space between the fact and the feeling, where the entry sits before the story begins. That space is real. It belongs to you. The fact is one thing. What you bring to it is another. Here, steady. The space between the two, where you live, where the fact ends and the meaning begins. Consider the nature of a ledger's permanence. How what is recorded remains beyond the moment of recording. The entry stands. What you record with clarity endures. This is what it means to separate money facts from data and feelings. Steady, real, beyond the moment, beyond the season. The fact recorded with honesty asks nothing further of you. It simply stands, extending as we return to our shared space. The quiet ledger invites a gentle shift in how we read what money shows us. It may be opening one digital statement with gentle curiosity and reading what is there before the story begins, or noticing one balance as information and letting it stand on its own, or recording one transaction and simply observing what it tells you. There is no perfect way to separate fact from feeling. There is only the gentle practice of choosing to witness what is true, and this witnessing, like all meaningful clarity, happens through gradual consistency. The scribe simply asks for one honest return to the page. That is the whole of it. To notice the difference between what is written and what you tell yourself about it. Thank you for being here, for being willing to read what money shows you with quiet curiosity, and to practice the small but significant act of witnessing a fact before the story begins. In the coming days, you might find yourself noticing the moment the story wants to form, pausing there and letting the fact stand a little longer on its own, finding that the pause between the reading and the interpreting is where authorship lives. I am Teach, the scribe. Thank you for returning to this ledger. May the days ahead bring you the steady practice of witnessing what is written clearly, and the growing recognition that the story you choose to tell is yours to author. Until we meet again. Next time on your journey in the series, we will draw from the inner well, cultivating the inner steadiness that supports every choice.